Alright, so this is the second part of the Flip Animation demo, or flipanim.com demo. Now, in the first one, we were doing a bouncing ball. The ball was simply going up and down in the frame. But this time, we're going to have a ball bouncing around the frame. And in doing that, I think we need a little bit more reference for how that's going to work. So now, instead of starting with the ball, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a path. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to click over here on this right-hand side where it says paper. That's going to allow us to draw underneath our animation layers. And this is going to allow us to track the path of the ball that we're going to draw. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the ground. And this is so that we have a solid surface for our ball to bounce off of. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the path that the ball is going to follow. We're going to have to draw this in a little bit of an interesting way because we have a square format paper here and we don't have a lot of screen to draw on. So we're going to do a little bit more of a dramatic drop than we normally would. Which really is only part of the entire ball bounce that we would normally do. But I think it's okay that we start with this. We could change it a little bit after. So the way this is going to work is that represents the path that the ball is going to follow. We're going to draw the ball at the various places in that path and make it look like it is gaining speed as it falls towards the ground and then decelerating on its way back up towards the top. Now we're going to go ahead and get started to draw our first position of the ball. Now before you do that, make sure that you have that top layer selected, and that's where our animation is going to go. Make sure you don't draw it here because it's going to kind of mess up your animation. We're going to draw on the top. It's called layers. So in our first frame, we're going to draw our first ball. Right there. Now when this ball is starting, it doesn't have full acceleration yet. So we're going to move it just a little bit at a time initially. But each new frame is going to move just a little bit further because it is accelerating because of gravity. Keep adding frames, keep moving down, and then now I'm at the squash point of that first hit. Now in the next frame, it's going to launch back up in the other direction. And it's going to launch back up pretty quickly because it has a lot of momentum at that point. But it's going to slow down as it gets towards the top here. It's going to get towards that peak, kind of hover a little bit, and then gravity is going to start pulling down on it again and making it go faster. Now we're at a different squash point. It's not going to squash quite as much. And I recognize that that one is probably a horrible drawing. I'm going to redraw that one circle there. There's a squash. Now launching back up. Slowing down as it goes over that arch. And then accelerating just a little bit more on that last one. And just barely enough for the last little squash there. Okay. So at this point, I have all of my drawings. And when I play it back, we have a ball bounce. Now having that guide there is going to be really helpful in keeping things on track and to make sure that your ball is pretty much in the correct position each time. Now if you want, you can hide that bottom layer, which we're going to do right there. If you click on the paper layer with the arches on it, and then come down here to the eyeball, you should be able to hide it. And you have a bouncing ball. It's also going to hide the ground, but you get a better sense of the motion of the ball. And there we go. You have a bouncing ball across the screen. All right, we'll cover some more advanced things in the next video. Take care.